What's going on, world?
What's happening, people? What's going on? What's happening?
KC Vibe back for yet another episode. We are on episode 11.
Double one,
Episode 11.
double one.
So, we finna get into this. We're gonna talk about, how about this?
What's up?
Relationships,
Uh huh.
jobs,
Okay.
and the balance between the two.
So, work home relationships, work home balance, basically.
I like the way I said it better.
Okay. Well,
Y'all, listen to this intro.
so,
We'll be back in a second. And just like that, we are back.
like we never left.
I don't know what that noise was.
It's the end of the beat.
So check this out.
Yeah.
I was online. I saw a statement. You know that's how this usually starts, right? Ooh.
Yeah.
So this week's statement said, "You are not rich until you have something that money can't buy."
Okay.
You are not rich until you have something that money can't buy.
Could that be anything?
That money can't buy.
Money can't buy love.
So you rich in love.
Money can't buy respect.
Okay,
Well,
before
know
you
what?
get off
Money could buy
topic.
respect.
Before you get off topic. So to
But
tie that in
what's up?
with the relationship and job balance, it kind of makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take a walk down memory lane and we're going
Mm-hmm.
to discuss our relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And different things that happen within our relationship that makes me kind of believe this statement right here to be a little true, right?
Okay. Okay.
So, golly
Okay.
gee, Batman.
Just a little.
So, take it back a
Okay.
couple years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were in the military for a
Okay.
period of time, and you were gone a lot.
Yeah. It's part of the game.
Like you weren't home like hardly ever. You missed the first pregnancy with Rick.
Mm-hmm.
You missed the whole first year of Azaria's life.
Mm-hmm.
You were gone for training. You're just not there, right?
Yeah.
Right? So when you got out the military, you jumped pretty much into the same thing.
Kinda. Sorta. Yeah.
You
A
jumped
little
into
bit.
a job where you were working 16-hour shifts.
Yeah.
You were, the time you were at home, you were asleep because you were tired from working so much. The days that you did get off, you were catching up on your sleep, all that other stuff. I say all this, Lord. I say all this to say that kind of took a toll on our relationship,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
And your biggest thing at the time was, I'm making money.
I had to make money at that time.
And my biggest thing at the time was, okay, you're killing yourself doing so and killing our relationship in the process.
Yeah. That's kind of that's kind of a double entendre because we was we had just moved to Kansas, right? And we were trying to get on our feet. And in order to do so, we had to make money. And I understand the fact that yeah, we already knew coming into that time was gonna have to get sacrificed in order for us to get our own place. Because we was living with your parents at that point in time, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And we had to do what we had to do in order to get on our feet and prepare our life in a new location.
So what you're saying is that the sacrifice that you spent away from your family was worth it?
I'm and no I mean, that's the point of a sacrifice, right? To for, to basically put yourself in a better situation with the sacrifice of something else. It could be time, it could be money, whatever, you know. But at the end of the day, that right there is a healthy sacrifice. that was being made. Because if we wouldn't have been able to afford a place to live, what would have happened then?
Well, by George, I think we finally have a podcast in which we won't be in agreement on.
Okay, now here's the thing. Like I said, it's a double entendre because of the fact that if I continue to work like that after we done found our place and got on our feet, that would be an issue in which that did happen,
Mm-hmm.
in which I now sit back and reflect and look at that, and I don't agree with. I shouldn't have been working out those hours. I just felt like I was obligated because I had been making some good money, and I was like, "What's the point of stopping? What's the point of stopping making this good money?" Not really seeing the effects that it was playing on my family, that was having on my family. So,
I look at it like this, right? There will never be money or a job that comes before my family. And like, even my job that I work now, if something was to come up that one of my kids needed me or my husband needed me, I will be there before I was at the job. Let me break it down as to why I think like this. My job, I'm just a person, right? I'm just a individual worker at that job, right? For every one of me, there's 1,000 more of me in the background.
mm-hmm.
My job can decide to fire me tomorrow, but the people that I have to deal with for the rest of eternity is my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to sacrifice any major events. I'm not going to sacrifice being able to just be there. I'm not going to sacrifice being present within my family to supply the needs of a job that can honestly get rid of me at any given moment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
See, there's a difference between sacrificing for your family and sacrificing for a job. Now, if you in a situation where you know, hey, in order for us to do this and make these bills, get to pay this and pay that, and in order for us to take this vacation, I'm going to need to work some overtime. I'm going to need to do that. To me, that's not sacrificing for the job. That's sacrificing for your family.
That's one thing that we will forever argue about.
How do you feel different? I mean, if
I
you
feel there are instances in which you put your job before what you should be putting first in the household.
you talking about me as an individual, or you just talking about in general?
You was an individual at times. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna cap. There's
Like
been
what?
times where it's like I needed you for something, and your main excuse was I can't just take off work. I can't just leave. And even when I'm like, bro, you got all this sick time built up. You got all this sick time, mental health days, D days. They are there to be used. They're not there for decorations. They're there to collect. You don't like using your time in fear that you're going to have to use your time later on down the line. So it's like, I'm not going to sacrifice this time now because you need me for something, because something might come up later up down the line that I'm going to need that time for. Okay, you're thinking in the future like that? Cool. But what if nothing ever comes up later on? So the monumental moments that I needed you there as my spouse, I needed you there as my partner, you weren't there because you had to go to work.
Okay.
Not because you had to go, because you made a conscious decision to be like, hey, I'm just going to go here. I don't want to use my time. And you're not the only one that does that in the world. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel there's a lot of men out here going back, like dating back to back in the day, 40s, 50s, 60s, or whatever. There's men who go to work, you heard, going to work from sun up to sundown,
Mm-hmm.
who go to work from sun up to sundown, who put in all this work, who give all this time to this job, and they have nothing to show for it in their family other than the fact that I have been providing for you monetarily. Yeah, I've been giving you this money,
Yeah.
this roof over your head. Yeah, it's cool to have a roof over my head, but what's the point of having a roof over my head if the person I'm supposed to share this roof with is never here to share it with me?
Well, okay, I get that, but at the same time, you got to look at the fact that would you have a roof over your head if your man wasn't working sun up, sun down? Or would you rather your man work and provide instead of you living under a bridge?
this my thing. I'm the type of person personally. If I'm living under the bridge, as long as I'm with the person that I love, that's all that matters. Cause something's gonna happen. A way is
Okay,
gonna be made. I tell you that all the time. There
okay.
is no situation that you can ever throw us in that a way will not
I
be
know
made
I
out
know a
of.
way could be made, but in that meantime, there's gonna be a whole lot of struggle there. You living above the bridge, you got to dealing with the elements, the weather, and
You take
all that.
shit too literally.
But that's what that
This is
means.
no. This is the thing. I'd rather stay in a $50,000 hut than to never see you and I'm living in a $500,000 house.
Okay, that's what you're talking about. I'm literally talking about living above the bridge.
That's the thing. You take stuff too literally. Your mind is programmed to work, 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 work. And it's sad because if you think about it, how many monumental moments have you missed because of work?
You talking about earlier because now I don't work. I don't do that no more.
In general,
I don't do that no more. You know that.
you
When I was
you've
working
done
12
it.
to 16 hour shifts, at that point in time, I was like, I was the ultimate provider. I mean, because at that point in time, we only had a one income household, and I was like, okay, well, in order to make this happen for the kids and for the wife, I gotta go out here and make this money. I gotta secure this bag, and that's what I was doing. So I was working 12 to 16 hour shifts, and sometimes not because I wanted to, because I had to.
Now answer me this. Were there times that you had time that you could have used and taken off, you just chose not to?
Yeah, I just felt obligated. Okay, I'm gonna be honest
You
with the
feel
people.
obligated to the
I felt
job.
obligated at that point in time. I'm gonna be honest with the people. I came into, I left the army and went into corrections, and started working for a prison. It was a jail, and we were so short staffed that it was like, hey, look, you got to be here, And I had worked my way up from being a corrections officer, a CO, to being a lieutenant. And at one point in time in that whole facility, it was only two lieutenants to cover four different shifts. So I always been a team player. I'm like, okay, well, it's all about us doing what's best for the whole team, for the greater good of the facility. So sometimes I used to stay for
Say
12
that
to 6
again.
for the greater good of the facility. I know where you're going. I know where you're
So
going.
my biggest
I know where
thing
you're
for the
going.
people is, who are you obligated to?
I'm obligated to my family.
But you just said you're
I
obligated to your
no, no,
job.
no. I didn't say I was obligated. I said I had. I felt like I had to. I felt like I was obligated at that point in time. Yes,
And then it
because
goes back to what I said. You sacrificed all that time, time that you could have called out, time that you could have been at home, time that you could have been there when I needed you. You sacrificed that time for a job that you're not even with no more.
yeah, I'm not. I'm still working in that field, but I'm not with that
But you're not
particular
with that
place.
job. Shit,
No.
that particular sorry, shoot, that particular place ain't even there no more.
Yeah, yeah. They shut that down.
Exactly. So now,
But
if you think back of all the memories that you missed out on
I
because you
get
were
what you're saying.
at that job,
I get what you're
it's
saying.
like your obligations are off. Me, I would take off in a quick heartbeat.
I get what you're saying. But we were able to become very, very, very financially stable.
It doesn't matter
Very.
because again, you can have all the money in the world,
Yeah, yeah.
but if you don't have those basic elements for your happiness, you gonna be broke as hell.
Yeah, of course. You're gonna feel broke. You're not gonna feel good because it's like, damn, I don't get to enjoy the time that I got. My free time, I don't get to enjoy the money that I'm making, I don't get to enjoy the the money with my loved ones. Of course it's gonna make you feel like, damn, I can't
You gonna
I
work
can't win for losing.
yourself to the ground.
Yeah, of course.
And that's an issue that I feel that a lot of men have.
I mean, you already know. When you think of a man and you think of a family, one the head, the main thing that you think of is, okay, well, that man got to provide for his family.
Yeah,
right? It's not. It's not. It's
understandable.
not. It's not a burden on a woman. Now these days, it take more than one income,
That's the thing,
but
though. It
it's
is
not
a
a burden
burden
on a
on the
woman.
woman. I'm glad
Yeah.
you said that.
Okay.
It
Okay.
is a burden on the woman,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Check
Yeah.
this out. For the longest, we go to our kids' schools and shit like that. I don't even think our kids' teachers knew I had a husband because you weren't there for any other school events. You weren't there for any other functions. You weren't there for any other parent teacher conferences. You weren't dropping off cookies for or cupcakes for birthday events. You weren't there for none of it.
Okay. Before
So
we.
that right there is the burden that the woman plays. Because what it is yes, the man is a provider. A man has to provide monetarily, right? This is I'm gonna use this money. I'm gonna build this house up. You ain't gonna have this roof over your head without your money. But what you fail to realize is a female is picking up all the broken pieces. So yes, you're providing the paycheck to put the bread on the table, but the female is making that bread last for everyone in the family, freaking making sure that the chicken is cooked that you
Didn't say
bring
that.
home, making sure that the bacon is fried that you bring home, making sure that those work clothes that you wear are clean,
Didn't say
making sure that
that
all of
wasn't the
your
case.
kids are taken care of.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing, they can't have two off parents. One of the parents have to be present, especially if the other parent ain't never there. So no, it's not a burden that falls just on the man. It's a burden that trickles down on
I'm not
everyone in the
talking about that.
household.
I'm not talking about that. I didn't say there was no burden at all on the woman. Only thing I said is that the burden of being the provider falls on the man. That's what I said because you okay. Society's jacked up. You know that. Okay. Let me let me go back. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Let me explain the shift that I used to work. I used to work from 6 p.m. on night shift until 10 a.m. sometimes in the next day. So you already know that's a 12, 16 hour shift. So I'm jacked up. When I get home, I'm taking a shower, going straight to bed. Wait, and I only had time because I was working 16 hour shifts, well, almost 5 days a week, and I only had time to basically go home, take a shower, eat a little bit, go to sleep, wake up, get ready for work, eat, and go to work. That was my schedule. That's how I lived, and I was miserable. I really was
And you know why you did that?
for my family.
No, you did that because you said you didn't want to take a pay cut.
Because we had gotten so used to making
You
that money.
said you didn't want to take a pay cut. So you rather sacrifice the time that you spend with your family to make up for it in money.
No, I mean, look at what happened at the end of the day, Kanisha.
What happened at the end of the day is you finally snapped into reality and realized, oh shoot, maybe just maybe I'm not spending enough time with my family. Maybe just maybe I'm not watching my kids grow up. Maybe just maybe I should take that pay cut to move into a job in which I have more time to spend with my family. That's what happened at the end
Yeah,
of the
that's
day.
what
You
happened at the end
woke
of the
the
day.
hell up.
That's
That's what happened
at
at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what happened at the end of the day.
But you can't say, well, look what happened at the end of the day. You woke up. That's what happened at the end of
Yeah, that's what happened at the end of the day. And I realized then, and then on top of that, what really puts the brought the horses back, but just try to brought the horses back is that I thought I made an executive decision as a leader on my job that wound up getting me in trouble. I was doing it to protect one of my officers, and it ended up getting me in trouble because of some political BS. So I was like, damn, that right there, and then I'm sacrificing not having the time with my family, and plus I'm getting in trouble for doing my job. What am I doing here? What am I doing?
But it took other people
It didn't take other
disappointing
people.
you. No, it did. It took other people disappointing you to realize what disappointment was. But I have been preaching that to you for years. And that's what I'm trying to get my point across.
I get it.
There's people out there who are taking their jobs
Yeah.
and they're like, without this job, you ain't gonna have this, that, and the third. Without the people in your household, you're not gonna have nothing. Because what's the point in going to work, making all this money, providing all this stuff, if you don't spend time with the people that you're providing for? Because at the end of the day, your kids aren't going to remember all the crap that you bought them. Shoot, We go out, spend thousands of dollars on Christmas, and they probably don't even know where half that shit is right now. Your kids aren't going to remember all of that. What your kids are going to remember are the times y'all spent together. So our kids don't remember the thousands of dollars that we spend on Christmas. But you know what they do remember? Our family movie nights. They don't remember all this money that got boosted out for them to play sports and all that other stuff. But you know what they do remember? Their whole family on the sideline cheering them
Yeah.
on at them sporting events. And that's the thing right there. You're not rich until you are fulfilled and you are satisfied and you are happy with something that money cannot
Of
buy.
course.
Because once you have that satisfaction in your life, everything else is going to fall into place.
Of course.
You cannot be like money, 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 money. Because at the end of the I make very good money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I make extremely good money. And I could say I can't take off because I gotta do this, I gotta make money. But no, I don't say that because I'm like, I also have time I can use.
Yeah.
I got sick time I can put in. Freaking, I got D days I can use. I got vacation time that I can use. I'm not gonna let that just stack up and wait for a moment to come along where I might have to use it. No, I'm gonna use it when I gotta use it right then and there. And later on down the line, if something comes up and I need time, I'll deal with that when that comes up.
Yeah.
Even if it has to do with me eating a day, I'll deal with that when that comes up.
But you know the real reason why I let my time stack up. You know the real reason. I told you this before.
No, I don't.
Is I let my time stack up because of my retirement. Because I do have a pension plan.
So you sacrifice your time now so that when you owe this dirt and everybody's out the house, you'll have all this time to do what?
It'd be like free money, basically.
That's stupid.
Okay, I understand it's stupid to you. Okay,
it's stupid in
it's
general.
Just okay. I got it. Why you all on me like
because
that?
That right there pisses me off.
Okay, but I understand now that that's not that level of thinking is not what it is. Okay, and at the end of the day, when I was working those 12 to 16 hour shifts in that job, I left the job, and I ended up
in conflict within our household.
Yes. So I ended up finding me a job in the same field in corrections that was Monday through Friday, weekends off, holidays off, 8-hour shifts, banker hours. So.
And you started off with a pay cut, right?
Had to take
I
took a hell of a pay cut.
Let me tell you, world, you know there's always a little nugget that we drop, right? A little nugget of knowledge, right? Sometimes in life, you got to make a step that may seem like a step back to you. But if you make that step in faith and you make that step because you're trying to do the right thing, at the end of the day, God is going to provide for you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that small little pay cut that you took so that you can have more time with your family turned into triple the money that you're making now. Right? That small step that you took because you're like, in the moment, you were probably like, I'm tired of hearing my wife's mouth. I'm finna freaking just spend some time with my family. But when you took that small sacrifice to make that step in that direction, everything else just starts trickling down.
Yeah.
Because you're not 100% fulfilled unless you got that happiness around you. We can have all the money in the world. But if you don't have that love and that happiness and stuff, people to share that with, it doesn't make any sense. Because you want to know why? At the end of the day, when you die, you're going to either be 6 feet under, buried to crumbles, or in the tomb just like all the other gazillions of people in the world. No matter how much money you got. You gonna be buried the same way that the crackhead that hung out at the end of the street that made all these memories with these people begging them for money. Y'all gonna be buried the same exact way.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So with that being said, don't let money run your life. Money, is it good to have? Yes. Nowadays we living in inflation times.
Yeah. Gas
darn near $5 a gallon. Hell, milk darn near $5 a gallon. Yeah. We're living in a time where life is expensive, but you have to learn how to take a look at the stuff that you have around you and realize that sometimes your family, your loved ones, your significant other, the one that you're sharing this world with, sometimes their presence, their loves, and y'all ability to come together and come up with solutions, sometimes that make you rich as hell.
Yeah, and fellas, the fellas that are listening, take heed. I mean, it's being a provider. It's definitely okay to be a provider for your family. And I know sometimes society, hey, you get in the bind and you like, man, I gotta hustle, I gotta hustle, I gotta do it the right way. But in that bind, don't forget to spend time with your family. Don't forget to spend time with your kids and your wife. Because at the end of the day, that's the bond that holds everything together.
That's the glue.
So
That's the concrete. That ain't the glue. That's the
and
concrete.
and at that point in time in my life, when I got out of the army, I was like, and we had a baby on the way. I'm
we
just like,
gonna we
man,
gonna have that on the podcast all of the time.
yeah. I just felt like I gotta get to this money. I got 2 kids and a baby on the way. I gotta get to this money.
We had 3 kids and a baby on the way.
Yeah, 3 kids and a baby on the way. I gotta get to this money. I mean, that was my philosophy. I'm like, unlike the army, you spend all this time in the field and do all this stuff and you get the same paycheck. But at least on the civilian job, I'm like, these motherfuckers gonna pay me even more if I stay longer.
And that's the thing, you're doing stuff to please the people that you work for.
No, I was doing it for my family.
You think you're doing it for your family, but honestly, you used to come home and you used to be like, well, babe, you gotta look at it like this. I'm in this situation right here where I'm this guy right here, and then there's this guy right here. Maybe if I do that, no, that's not how life is. You gotta enjoy the stuff that's around you, because at the end of the day, when them jokers go home, they gotta deal with who they sleeping with. That's on them. You, my friend, gotta deal with me.
Yeah, I know. But hey,
And I look too damn good
let me
for
tell
you to
you
spend
something
all
though.
this time away from home.
I feel you though, but hey, we had them bands though.
But you know what's crazy?
Hey,
We're in a better
yeah,
situation now
exactly.
than
We
we have
really are.
ever been.
We really are. We're making more money than what we have ever been before, and I get to still spend time with y'all.
So our next podcast, how about we do that? Our next podcast is gonna be how our test turned into our ultimate testimony.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Do that
we can
next week.
definitely do that.
Do that next week.
Yeah, we can talk about it all.
Ooh, you're yawning. You seem a little sleepy.
Nah,
You're sleeping. Need a nappy nap.
this new diet that I'm on.
Need a nappy nap.
Yeah, you gonna put me to
Hey.
sleep.
Alrighty, y'all.
Yeah.
So, moral of the story, like I said, be sure you guys aren't letting money run you guys. You are not rich until you can say that you have something that money can't buy. And my family, the hashtag Team Martin, my husband, that KC vibe, that right there is a richness that money cannot buy. Money cannot replace, and they gonna be here whether the money is here or not. Right?
That's right.
Alright.
Absolutely.
Well, with that being said, as always, if you want to reach out to us, you can hit us up in our email, askkcvibe@gmail.com. That's askkcvibe@gmail.com. You want to hit your girl up, you can find me on all my socials, ayo_ko and the number 2 on TikTok. But everything else is Dareal_knockout. That's DAREAL_knockout. If you want to follow our podcast on Instagram, we there now too, right?
Yeah, we done.
Ooh. We on Instagram now. I gotta look up the name.
While she's finding that,
It took a minute to find that name.
You can hit me up on TikTok and what's the other one? Instagram. Okay, TikTok and Instagram at MartyMar86. That's MartyMar86 with that @ sign in the front.
Follow KC Vibe Podcast at KC_Vibe Podcast. KC_Vibe Podcast on Instagram. And if you're looking for where you can listen to all the other podcasts, you can listen wherever you stream your podcast. If you don't believe me, just Google KC Vibe Podcast and everything will fall into order, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. And if you're not listening to it here, you can catch it on YouTube. I think YouTube a couple episodes behind.
Yo, we gotta go ahead and get that caught up.
I gotta update YouTube. So best bet is to just go ahead and get Spotify, y'all. Spotify, Apple Music,
however you need to do it.
Y'all got it, right?
Only thing you gotta do is Google it.
Just Google it. Well, you got anything else you gotta add?
Nah, I'm good.
Alrighty. Well, with that being said, I'm the K.
And I'm the C.
And once again, thanks for vibing with us.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.